Hello, my name is Mike Ebert, and I'm the head of the enterprise team at Indicio. Today, we're going to be demonstrating how to use Proven's API. So on the left, we have Postman, which is an HTTP API development tool. This allows us to submit API calls as if we were a website or a CRM, some other system that you already have existing, submitting API calls to Proven. And the Proven agent is running on our server. We don't have to see the UI, it's off screen. And so we're just going to use Postman to simulate a system and submit some of the API calls. We're going to start with an invitations call. So we're going to create an invitation by submitting to the API version 1 invitations endpoint. I've pre-populated the data for a single-use invitation. So we've got invitation mode once here. So we're going to go ahead and submit this invitation to create this call to create an invitation. And as you can see, we get back an invitation URL and then also the invitation ID. And if we used one, we'd get a contact ID back. So we're going to take this URL and we're going to generate a QR code for it as if this were your website or a tool system that would generate a QR code from the invitation URL. And then we're going to use our mobile agent to scan this QR code, and that will connect our Holder Plus mobile agent to our Proven agent without having to use the UI. So now, as you can see, we have a connection to Proven. After establishing a connection between the two agents, Proven and something else, the next step would be perhaps issuing a credential. So we're going to demonstrate using the credential issuance API to issue a credential to the same contact that we established in the invitation API. So let me double check. Oh, it's invitation ID 29. So we're going to use the same ID here, 29. And then your system would have a record of information that you're trying to issue. So I've hand populated Postman, but the automated tools would have a database or something like that to pull this data from and fill it in here automatically. So we're going to go ahead and send this credential. So we get a response that the credential was offered in the API tool. And then on our mobile agent, we've received the offer for the credential from Proven. So we can open this up and take a look at it. We have a banking account credential. In this case, we're issuing it to the fictional John Smith. So this all looks good. We'll accept the credential. So after we've received our credential in our wallet, you can see it here on the mobile application. One of the things we might want to do is use the API to request presentation or verification of a credential. So we've got the API call set up to request the credential that we issued just a little while ago. So we'll go ahead and submit this API request. You can see the notification for the request pop up here. So we'll go ahead and look at what's being requested. We'll share that information. The information gets sent back, and then the API recognizes that it came back and shares the info with us. And you can see John Smith has come back in the verification result here. And that's how you would use the verification API to retrieve some credential information from your connected agent. So we've demonstrated the invitations API, the credential issuance API, and the verification or presentation request API. Those are all three key APIs for how you would be able to use the API to instruct Proven to interact with other agents on your behalf of your website, on behalf of your CRM or other application. And using Postman, it looks like a clumsy tool or a user interface or whatever, but there are other options for how you could interact. You won't have to use Postman. You could use, for example, a website like our demo website, Mountain Banking. And the Mountain Banking website has its own UI and various functions that it could do, but it uses the Proven API on the back end to interact with an agent to enable interesting functions in the website. So for example, we could use our banking account credential to log into this website. So we're going to say log in, and it displays a QR code that it fetched from the API on the back end. And to display this invitation, we're going to use the scanner on our mobile app to connect to the Proven agent through the website. So now we have a connection to the website, and the website is instructed, once the connection's complete, the website's instructed Proven to ask for the banking account credential. So we'll go ahead and look at that, same as before, and we'll share it. And then the API on the back end tells the website that we indeed have presented that credential. And then the website says, okay, we'll let you log in. And so now we've logged in, and it says, welcome, John, and displays our account balance. And for demo purposes, we're displaying the credential details here. But you can see that you can enable interesting and powerful workflows in existing systems or websites where they interact with the Proven API on the back end to do DIDCOM and credential things. So that's a demonstration of how to use a tool like Postman to test or simulate API calls, and then a sample website that's also uses the API to show you some of the things you can accomplish with the Proven API.